How's the noise checks? Let's see. Shit. Check on my side. See, this is working. That's working. Twitch. Oh, I mean, I'm hearing on my side. Should be good now. I think. All right. And while I started this back up, I am going to...
The jokes they bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth.
A drink while I wait. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go grab a drink really quick. I'll be right back. Yeah, I don't know why. That was super weird because everything on like Streamlabs was saying that it was working good. Like the desktop audio mic was good. I don't know. So I don't know why that happened. Whiskey? Alright, y'all. So I just got done skipping him because he said I could. And now a year's passed or something like that. So I don't even know what's happening now.
Ethan said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an...
We're just gonna keep skipping his ass. Fuck him. Because I don't know what else to do.
The end is never the end, 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 is never...
Sunlight. Nice. Nature taking over. Ruthless. I mean, he's not even talking anymore. Now it's just fucking dust, sand, desert. And there's no other way out. Yeah, there is like no dialogue on this one. Oh shit, look at this. I'm like sideways. Ooh. Ooh. Hold on, let me check this button really quick. Okay. Oh god, it's bright. Which way should I go? He just talks in this ending? I don't hear him talk at all.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Okay. So I think there is more to this side. Yeah, so skip through.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
That looks like a Sam system.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Anything I'm missing? Don't think so. Ooh, pretty.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features. For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game.
I've never played this before.
Isn't that wonderful?
There's no way they're gonna say my name.
Jim.
Okay,
Sorry,
fuck you.
I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature.
I'm so intense.
Just play along. I promise you'll love it.
I'm
Okay,
a tense
here we
person.
go.
I've
Let's
always
take a
been tense.
deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Absolutely not.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim,
Fuck no.
seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply?
Jim.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now,
Allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim, playing frisbee on the weekends as Jim, staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as Jim, developing a crippling substance addiction as Jim, rediscovering yourself through fringe religious groups as Jim, and finally dying a slow death at an old age surrounded by members of your cult as Jim. Do you feel it in your soul? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
No.
If so, then please step forward and press the button.
God damn it. I have to be Jim, don't I? I am now Jim. Playing games, so I'm gonna lurk. Okay, yeah. Of course.
Jim.
Have fun.
Yes, you see? What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Jim.
Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Okay, so... What? Okay, I don't even know. There's a lot.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of... An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Infinite hole. Settings, world champion. Let's... Let's get this
Now,
achievement.
here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
And of course. Can't even get it. Okay, so now I need to go...
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
up here. Ooh.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Oh my god. I have to collect... In this game or in the second game is he talking about? I hope it's not this game, because I've only seen
God, it
one.
really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Okay. Infinite hole. Let's... It won't end. Should we wait on that?
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Damn. I like to be able to jump. This is new? Oh yeah, okay, so this is kind of towards the beginning. Button that says gym. Office decorations.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy
There
12th
are
birthday,
121
step-niece it is.
$121 like figurines that I found? Or that I need to find?
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No. No, I've made my decision. We're moving on. Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Okay. If I go down this hole at... Okay, it's 3 in the morning. It's 3:20. When it hits 3:20, it's 3:19 right now. And it hits 3:22 and I'm still falling, I'm gonna reset the game. So once it hits 3:20, I'm gonna jump. Okay, it's 3:20.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Okay.
Great. Now,
Okay,
I'm
cool.
very excited to show you even more
I
of
thought
my
it was just
ideas
gonna
for the
make me
sequel.
keep going and going. That would have been rough. Okay, exit.
Oh, goodness, Stanley, this is fairly awkward. I hate to do this, but before you leave, you really should go to the bucket exhibit. You see, there's a surprise I was going to spring on you later, and it involves the bucket. And I really do hate to break the illusion, but it's important that you go see the bucket, okay? All right, I'll get out of your hair now.
Where's the bucket?
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
What the fuck?
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Can I keep holding the bucket?
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
This game is so dumb. But here I am playing it.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
There's pumpkin.
I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Wait. So now am I playing...
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them,
Tell
and
me
in
how
order.
to be...
This is what
out
employee 427
like
did
Stanley or
every
something.
day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-making, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not...
Holy shit, pumpkin.
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley picked up the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
We're gonna go back this way.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Still can't jump.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Ooh, I haven't walked down. Ooh.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Okay.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket.
Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
What the hell? What?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
Nice.
Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can
I can't
be,
even run in this game.
and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
I backflip everywhere I go to.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Now,
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I gotta go back through these.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You coming to a staircase? Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Yeah, it's my safety bucket. So now I feel like I'm having to go
rose
back
on an
through and
enormous
trace
room
my
packed with
steps.
television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
I know something I didn't do. I didn't turn it on. I didn't turn the system on. So let's turn it off. Let's follow what he says. And then we'll go back
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness.
with the bucket.
Was it over?
And then we'll turn
Yes!
it on.
They had done it! Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together. with one another to lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had the confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter, his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly
an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again. Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Silly, silly birds. Okay, so I'm gonna
How wonderful. Stanley
that
was
again,
alone.
but without the
Finally.
bucket.
This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Oh, no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Oh god, this game. It's crazy. It's crazy. Sorry, Luna, I didn't mean to kick you.
Stanley
Okay.
walked straight ahead through the large door that
So-
read Mind Control Facility.
I never pressed on in the beginning of the game, just myself.
The lights rose on an
Stop yawning.
enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom
Whiskey.
meant nothing.
Come on, buddy.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof.
the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory.
was intense.
What did it look like? There was a computer, but
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to
Good
the
morning,
meeting room.
Stanley.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Stanley has a bucket at the moment. Do you have a bucket, CD? Alright. Alright, we're gonna go straight first. Oh, shit. You're not
Coming to
currently
a
clutching
staircase,
it. Oh.
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs
Dang.
to the boss's office.
Dang it. Wait. I don't remember if this works or not. I don't think it does. No. I'm an.
Stepping into his manager's office,
I'm
Stanley was
unnerved by
once again
thousands.
stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I need. There's gotta be like. Damn. So what did I do wrong? Because I ended up going back to the meeting room.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read
We can go
Mind
to escape.
Control.
We haven't done that
Although
yet
this
with the
passageway
bucket.
had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death. The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Woohoo! So hearing something. The Crusher.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
happened.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
So dumb.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Bucket. Bucket.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Hold on, wasn't there another set of staircase? Oh. Well, alright, here we go. Do a little leap of faith, huh? At least our last sight is the bucket. Golly, it just tripped. Oh my god. That
But there
was
is
so
something
dumb.
we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong.
I know, like,
Let
what the hell?
Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements
And
if
now I
only
died.
we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
And now I'm back in office. Ooh, it's new.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
So did I miss something? On the left. Did I miss something? God, the only thing is like, I don't want to go back through the same, like, I don't want to repeat myself. I guess, you know, we're just gonna have to, sadly, go back through stupid closet, make him mad, the narrator.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You coming to a staircase?
No, there is
Stanley and the
something.
bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Yeah. Wait.
But Stanley just couldn't do it.
Wait.
He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post
Oh,
during
damn it,
work
I have
hours.
done this.
He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was
Bucket it in
crazy.
the broom
And then
closet.
something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket
I've
in his
already done
arms.
this.
Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his
Damn, this
gaze,
was a long
but said
one.
nothing at all.
I haven't done
That's
the broom
strange,
closet
Stanley
one
thought.
yet.
Usually the bucket is a source of
'Cause it
guidance
just
and
annoyed
wisdom
me.
for me
I,
in
like, couldn't
difficult
listen to the
times
rest
such
of
as
them
these.
talk.
He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Is this the one with the woman?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Yeah. God, this makes me
Mariella
feel
woke
like
up on a
crazy,
day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Oh, okay. So I've been all the way to the end with the bucket. I pressed off with the bucket. I pressed on with the bucket. I haven't done
Just
the
a step
closet.
through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need. If I can make it through this door,
Like, do
I
I
can
have
make it
to-
through them all.
Do I have to let him talk all the way through? I don't know what that does.
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together.
No, yeah, you're good. You can ask, like, like, I haven't even, I played as much as I could, without the bucket. So I tried to do everything. It's so hard to even explain what all I've done. Like, the red door, I've done the blue
Stanley
door.
clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered
I've
the
done
door
the
on his left.
baby on fire. I've done. I don't even know. Like, all kinds of crazy stuff. This is the Parable 2. Yeah, cat. His name is Pumpkin. So if I go in the closet, do I just stay in there? Like, until he shuts up? Okay, let's go figure out something in the closet. Because that's true, yeah, because I know every decision kind of creates a chain reaction.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it. Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
So now, does that change everything else?
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate.
Holy
See?
crap.
I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker. You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us a silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display.
Vastly improved.
You can stay here all
yeah.
you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning
Slap a
supplies.
sticker on it.
Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Okay, so I think he left. Now. Right? 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 Yeah. Okay. So now do I have to redo everything that I just did?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh gosh almighty. They're only cosmetic? Okay. So,
Stepping into his manager's office,
Damn.
Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of
shit.
any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it
I
the
still
bucket
gotta
knew all along?
get
Was the
through.
bucket guiding him?
So which one's
Yes,
fastest? I
this
think.
is certainly the most logical explanation.
Which one's gonna be fastest? Probably following his words. Probably not the. Have you pressed the up button? I've tried. Wait, can I do it now? Ooh, I have not.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
The number 3.
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over. Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
There's so much.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly. A hint of regret nagged in the back of Stanley's mind. Should Stanley and the bucket walk straight ahead through the large door that read,
Damn.
Mind Control Facility?
Yeah, this one's probably gonna be fastest.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
What terrible things.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Where can I fall off at? Ooh. I thought I was gonna do it there. The first desk. Damn, no. Damn, there's so much.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told
There's
to
so
do
many
things
visits I
it didn't
gotta
wish
do.
to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want
So,
to
CD,
do
you've
or
played
not
this
want
game
to do
before
in
then,
the first
right?
place?
Or have you watched
These
someone play it?
questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
A lot. Have you played Superliminal?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored
love
and
that
commanded
game.
from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and
like the things very quickly.
What?
So
Wait,
I was just like
what was
aimlessly
happening?
walking around.
Why
like
had the
an
door
idiot,
stopped?
and I
Was
think
Stanley
that's
and the
why
bucket
most of the
not
time
about
I
to be
was finding
freed?
them.
An
So
unbearable silence
you
filled the
probably
room,
weren't the
lingering
idiot.
in uncertainty,
I was the idiot.
until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the
So
face.
I wouldn't even worry
This
about
building
that.
did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket.
Man, that game
to
was
go
so
to any
good. I
lengths
loved
not
that.
to part with the bucket.
I loved
No.
that game.
Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has
you
such a
think
precious bucket in his
you're about to
arms.
do
Not
something,
while
but
this
then you
building
do
has anything to
something
say
else and
about
you're
it.
like, what the
Stanley
hell?
realized he would never
It's
again leave
just-
this
it's
very
insane.
room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Okay, so now I can't even remember. What am I doing now? I need to fall off. Viewfinder? Let me look really quick. Viewfinder. Ooh, that looks good too. Reshape reality. Exploration is learning. Experience as much as you want. Find the answer to the impossible once you step in the world of Viewfinder. That actually looks really good. I'm gonna add that to my wish list. That might be the next game. I have not heard of that one, but
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
that elevator with the up button, you can go up and down and up and down and continue going up and down, both with and without the bucket. So did I already complete the up and down scenario with the bucket, or did I not do it enough? Oh my.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Fuck my life. This is ridiculous, man. This game is just so terrible.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door.
Like,
on
at
his
least
left.
superliminal, right? Like, it was rewarding to a certain extent. Like, you got past a certain section and you're like, yes, like, hell yeah, like, I figured that out. But in this shit, like, no.
Coming to a
There
staircase,
is nothing like
Stanley
that.
and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's
There's
office.
more upping and downing. Alright, alright. Shit.
Stepping into his manager's
2-8.
office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Played jazz
Was the
music
bucket
from
guiding
earlier.
him?
Got to
Yes,
relax for a
this
bit.
is certainly the most logical explanation.
Okay. Up and down, up and down. Maybe the elevator will break or something. There's at least 3 things to do in the mind control facility. Falling off without the bucket, falling off with it, and something else that's bucket independent. That is quite interesting. And my left monitor just turned off. And it is because there is a cat. Hold on. 'Cause then I won't be able to see chat. Give me a second. And I will go back up. I'll try to fix this.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
Oh, okay. Alright. Shit, that scared me. I was like, I think my monitor just went out, but we fixed it. Okay, so what am I up right now? And I probably missed some dialogue. What is it, the 333? Should I do the 333? I don't know, fuck it. I think, oh, wait. Where am I? Damn it. Okay. That scared me.
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
Back up. Let's go.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see.
Limitless
Feel
for
the
inspiration?
happiness I feel.
No.
He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing. Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears. And the whole
Might point
time,
you in
he
exciting
looked to
new
his bucket
directions,
for
so-
a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator. Stanley and the bucket were so close, they'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
So now, do we go back up? And I think I saw your Figley list still has one undiscovered Figley. Like my little Stanley figurines. Is that what he calls them? Figleys?
Said Stanley. I know what to do.
I haven't been to
I
the right
know how to
side
fully express
of the
this feeling in
game
my
yet
heart.
with the bucket.
He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work. For months, he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life. This was it. One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
Let's do it.
There was no one here.
Oh.
Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure, and in that moment Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously.
Oh.
There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
Damn. Well, that sucks. Nobody wanted to hear his speech regarding 3. That's so sad. Okay, so now
All of his co-workers were gone.
without the bucket.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
And then I need to fall.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he
From the
entered the
front
door on
desk.
his left.
Where do you see it at? The whiteboard. Wait. Which one? Oh, this one. Red and blue, okay. A large room, lots of boxes. Okay, I don't know where that one is. I know where the red and blue one will probably be. There must be a point to this. Okay. So red and blue will be on the right side. In the blue door. I don't know what I'm saying.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I have a cat laying on my desk at the moment.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad, Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Wow, that's so awesome. Let's see if you can't see. This is whiskey.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind.
Halfway
Stanley
point.
actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me.
That's
Why
insane.
did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out. Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Should I press 3s? Or just keep going up and down again?
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
And up.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Me too.
Oh my God. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this. Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No! No, wait! No! I need more time to process. All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley. Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
And up we go. Let's get it. Should be the last one, right?
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow? There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate, and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley, because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, though I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh good, we're here. Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere. Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door. All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get them.
Down the knob. Oh, blue.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Shit.
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the
What's
bucket
in the
walked
blue
upstairs
office?
to the
Oh,
boss's
damn
office.
it. Did I miss something? I should get another blue office, right? I was gonna do the falling off thing.
Stepping
with the
into
bucket,
his manager's
and then
office,
without the bucket.
Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the wind, but Stanley guessed the correct
I
code
didn't
by
look over
sheer
fast
luck.
enough.
Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the
There's
bucket
way too
guiding
many
him?
choices.
Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
So, the first desk whenever I go into like the huge monitor room. Is that the desk that you're talking about with like the bridge that I gotta walk on?
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay. So this. Nope. But where? Oh. 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 Like, oh, there it is.
But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below.
Nice.
Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall.
What?
Now, what to do next, Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here.
I survived.
So they set up a little couch and relaxed.
Oh.
It really wasn't so bad down here. A bit cold, perhaps.
It's so cute.
After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis. But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even
Stanley and
thought of
this
the mind
bucket
control
got something else
facility.
going on. Like,
He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack
they've
of
been doing
closure
something
began
else.
to eat
I
at
don't
him.
know.
Soon he was dwelling on his
No hate.
regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think
Man,
about,
Stanley's
all
a
he could
slob.
talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path. It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was unconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending.
All too real.
But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting
So
on.
I'm guessing if I fall
The two of them waited for a very long
without
time.
the bucket, I'll just die. So we'll do that really quick. Unless I have a blue room. I don't.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
No.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm so tired of the door on the left. I'm ready to go to the right. Oh, they locked
Coming
it up.
to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
That's right.
Here's the door, just go.
What? Peanut butter? Thank you for that raid. Thank you so much. I am, you're actually just in time, of me currently losing my freaking mind playing this game. What is this game even called again? It's called, what's it called? The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, alright? And I have been running around, going in circles, okay? With buckets.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the
Wanting
large
to
door
throw
that
up
read Mind
and
Control
leaping
Facility.
myself off the side. Wait, what am I supposed to be doing? Oh, no, I'm supposed to be jumping off of this. Anyways. You know, I don't even know what to say about this. Okay? But yeah, that's what this stream is about. Okay? But thank you for the raid. I hope that your stream was well, and I'm so happy I was able to wait, what? What? I don't even know. I'm supposed to be
Aha! You've made it to the
finding
bottom
all
of the
the
mind control
endings
facility.
in this
Welcome!
game, and
You see,
apparently there's like
back when the Stanley
120 of
Parable
them.
first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all
And it's
sent us
just-
lots
it's
of
it's
photos of
insane.
it on Twitter
Okay.
and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for
It's
you.
just-
Anyway,
it's a
when it came
mess.
time
I'm
to
a
update
mess.
the game,
This-
we knew that we had to
yeah.
do something about this little goof of ours.
Of
So
course.
here you go.
$350.
New
That is
content.
amazing.
You can
I'm
call
so
it the
happy.
bottom of the mind control
That's
room
awesome.
ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't
I'm
that what you
definitely
crave?
happy I got to-
New
to
content? Always
to
more
catch that
content,
stream
more
today.
content, more,
And I
more.
am sorry that
And I'm
I
here to give it
hit
to
that
you.
5,000
I'm here to make it
bits.
seem like we
Peanut
really
bits.
covered every nook and cranny of the game with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this?
120 endings,
We wrote a
yes.
new
It's-
piece of music just
you just
for
keep
this
going
section.
around and
You
around.
won't
It's
hear
like
it
a
anywhere else
freaking
in the
maze.
game. It's a
insane.
secret that's just for you. That's how special you are. We call this track Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Now you know better.
Good job.
Put
You did it.
yourself through it.
Good
Yeah, no,
job.
I'm not gonna do that to myself. Because first off, I will
3,
not
2,
see
1. Good
anyone,
job. You made it to the
because
bottom
even
of the
whenever I
mind
do,
control
if I usually try to
facility.
sing a song,
Jumped
Gina's
on
like,
the
yeah, those aren't even the
catwalk.
words, and I'm like,
You
it's
should
okay.
have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to
Wait,
be
CD,
a bug,
is
but
this-
now it's an ending.
this the
Now
end?
it's an ending. And I believe in you. I believe in your ability
did
to
I do it?
cross
Did
this
I do it?
barrier and chase your dreams. But railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job, you did it.
Now we're back. And we will not be... I don't know, CD, I don't know if that was worth it, okay? Because first off, I did it with a bucket, okay? And it just turned out that Stanley's a slob. Okay, so I'm done with the left side. We're done with that side. Like, F that side. Going downstairs, upstairs, in the office, up, down the elevator. Fuck it. We're done with that.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Honestly,
Stanley
that gives me a
decided
sigh
to
of
go to the
relief.
meeting room. Perhaps
So
he had
now-
simply missed a memo.
Getting my property of Stanley bucket.
The embrace of an old
And yes,
friend.
the song was
a
actually pretty
weathered
good.
companionship that stands the test of time.
And watch this, watch this.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Now I'm going to the right.
This was
I
not
love
the correct
how
way to the
I
meeting
did that
room,
ending with the
but
bucket.
Stanley
Makes
had
no
felt
sense
the
to
bucket
anyone who's
calling
new to the
him,
game.
telling him that the
Need to go
employee lounge
through
was simply
red
the
and blue
place
doors
to be.
with the bucket. That's what I'm about to do. If I can even remember how to do it, that's the problem. Because I know I
And
screwed
here
up.
it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better? No, never mind.
Wait,
The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
okay, I don't need to go... Wait, what about that elevator? No, I think the red and blue door is this right here.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to
No.
the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the
look.
top. There's
I can
something
get
up
him.
there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him.
Oh, I can get.
It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact.
Okay,
He was
hold on,
firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him,
Okay,
and
okay.
he unthinkingly did whatever the
You
bucket
haven't gone there
asked.
with the bucket. Isn't this the red and blue door right here? Oh shit, did I go the wrong way? Fuck, I did this last time.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually
There's
don't
just
know
so
what
many
is a bucket
possibilities.
and what
I'm
isn't
forgetting.
a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if
So I need
that's
to take a
true, well,
left.
my goodness, I
then
think
get
we
on
have
the
to do
elevator
something
in there?
about it. This
that what it is?
misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a
Ooh,
moment.
this is... I'm probably about to die. Shit.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Oof. Okay.
Incorrect.
What?
It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Are you kidding me? I was just joking.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Okay, can I look? Can I look at it? Can I go up there and look at it? Okay, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? I mean, it looks pretty bucket-ish to me, right? It's got the three lines on the outside. The handle's looking nice. It's got a bit of a chrome feel to it with a cork handle. It's not a bucket.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
It might be a cake. Oh man, I love that show. Is it cake? Dude, those
Item
cakes
3.
are crazy.
Is this a bucket?
Is it a bucket? I'm gonna say yes.
Correct. This is a bucket.
I miss the days when everything was cake. Yeah, same.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Is this a trick question? Is this a bucket? No, right? It's a tractor. It's even, you know, polluting the air. But what if it is? We're gonna go against it. We're gonna say yes. Of course it's...
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just
can hold
move
a
on to
bucket.
the next one. Is this a bucket?
Okay, no.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
Fucking kidding me?
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. Should be around here somewhere.
Can I leave?
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless... Is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
Yes.
You know what? I'm too confused to even
I can't
sort
believe
it
that
out.
they did that to you.
I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket?
They
Mere moments
really
ago I could answer these questions with
Put me through
confidence.
it right now.
And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is?
Honestly,
Am
I'm
I a
feeling like a
bucket?
bucket right now. Like,
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself
Yeah,
was
yeah,
all I
he's
ever
a
had
bucket.
to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going
sure
to
it
erase
does.
all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we
No.
go.
wait, did he just say he's gonna erase all buckets? No.
What
no.
happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket? My God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I am not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets.
No,
Yes,
wanna be a
I
bucket.
actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Honestly, yeah. But did I remember the order in which they were right and wrong? No. I do not have a photographic memory, if you want me to be honest. So...
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he
Okay,
felt
so got a
safe in,
bucket.
that he would... The bucket made Stanley want to be a
We're
better
going to the
man
red and
and
blue
a
door.
better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never
So,
mind.
I need to
The
go
bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Is that right? Shit, I can't remember. Do you want guidance to the bucket independent thing in the mind control facility? It's just a secret. It's not part of the narrative. Yeah. Can you tell me where the red and blue door is first? Is it left or do I go straight? Because right now I am losing my fucking mind. Oh shit. Okay.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
I don't think this is the red and blue door. I don't remember where this leads.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
What the fuck?
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it. Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Oh, not my bucket. Ooh, it's kind of creepy in here.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
It's a wood chipper.
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
No.
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Frost. But I stood my ground, you understand?
Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were
Gosh, there's so
magnificent.
much, man. Okay, so not the elevator. So then... I need to go straight, and I don't need to fall off of that thing that rises up and across. That's where the door is?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed.
Very lucky.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Just wait there on the instead of getting on the elevator? Okay. And then does it just like...
Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here,
said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Whoa, inspired green. Wow. Rating with a party of 26. Inspired Green, hello. How are you? How is your
Now
stream?
pick up the phone, said the bucket. Pick
And
up
the
the
peanut
phone,
butters,
and it will take us
of
back
course.
home, where we can go about life together.
Should I pick it up? I don't know. There's a lot going on right now. Hello, y'all. Yeah, I am currently losing my mind, so that's what's going on. Should I pick it up? I don't know. I'm picking it up.
This is the sad story of a man named
Yeah, the
Stanley
Green, how was
and his
your
bucket.
how was your stream? What were
Once
you
upon a
streaming?
time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was
Dropping
lonely
in a
and
hot
could use a
bean?
friend.
Okay.
And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
What the hell is going on? Where am I?
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is
Apparently got
hearing the bucket
67
say to
views,
him
that's
is
awesome.
just in his
Yeah,
head.
it really is. That's insane. Oh, to take me back home with you.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him
Oh, yeah,
delusional
that's
like
right. This
this,
is like my
obsessing
home or
over an
whatever.
inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different
Yeah, and then
location.
that
That's it.
freaking,
It doesn't do anything else.
What's it called? Mannequin. He was like a mannequin. I was like, what the fuck?
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is this awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Yeah, so we're currently playing... I'm so sorry, I'm terrible with names. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. And I am losing my mind playing it. So that can be your
It's
amusement.
sad. I suppose he doesn't
Or
need
not.
me anymore.
Whatever.
From now on, he's just
But yeah,
going to
thank you
cling
for
to
the
this
raid.
bucket, this
I
cold,
appreciate it.
empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket.
Oh man,
Well, I'll give it
I
this. The
am-
bucket does have a nice shine to it.
losing my mind because of a fucking bucket. That's what I'm doing. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Okay, so what? Now I'm just going home.
Yes, I
and
suppose on
back to work,
closer
home and back
inspection
to work?
that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another. Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket.
What are you
Why do I
sorry
feel
about,
some
Green?
need to point out the ways in which it's
Apex.
so much more
It
than
is
just
sweaty.
a regular bucket?
I'm actually very new at Apex. I just started like 3-4 days ago, so
Oh no.
I get shit on
I'm-
every time.
I'm having feelings for the bucket.
Oh,
no,
hey,
no,
yo.
no. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't
Yes.
understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome
'Cause you
situation.
couldn't stand my stream or your stream lights anymore. Gotcha. That's
Stanley,
really funny.
give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley.
appreciate the
need it.
raid. Thank
Give
you.
it to me now. Give it, or I'll.
Jeez, that was weird. I don't know. I knew there was something going on with that bucket. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. So I still
How
haven't
wonderful.
Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all
going to raid
along.
her, but no,
I
she
got
ended up
what I
raiding you,
wanted.
I guess. Yeah, she did. She ended up raiding me not too long ago, so I
It
guess
takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so
ended her stream.
magnificent. Stanley checked
see,
his
about 30
ego
minutes,
and then
20
proceeded
minutes ago?
onward.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
You said you haven't checked the achievements yet, too. How do I check them, CD? Nice, just missed it, lol. Yeah, I know. Yeah, she was doing a charity too. I got to watch some of her stream. I ended up donating.
This
a
was
bit.
not
It was
the
really
correct
good.
way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the
I am on
employee
Steam.
lounge was simply the place to be.
Wait, I think they're just in the options pause menu. Are they? I don't know if they would be. Because I am not going to restart the game on accident.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
How do I get
Stanley
to the
took
red
the door on his
and
left
blue
to
door?
go back to the meeting room.
I'm so lost right now. Is it? No. It's this way.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
I know I could probably... Oh, shit.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly
Okay,
gotten all
so I
of the
need one
Figler
more of those.
Anmarines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler Anmarines. None of us can.
In-game overlay thing. I don't know if that might reveal your username, so maybe don't do that on stream. Let me see. I'll check it in a bit. I'm still like running around because I haven't even been to the right side everywhere with the bucket. You know what I mean? So I'm still gonna kind of check everything over here first, and then once we do that, then we'll do that. Gonna head off for some ZZZ. Have a good stream. Thank you so
This is
much,
day
Green.
number
I hope you
295.
have a great sleep.
Take number.
Thank you for the raid. And have a good
I
night.
don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make
There's
sense.
no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
Not gonna lie, that was weird. That's alright. Just gonna keep on going. Okay.
Even now, Stanley's office was a
See?
distant memory.
We're
What did it
gonna-
do like? There was a computer, perhaps,
do
and a
the
painting. Was it a painting or a photo?
one with the
He could no
buttons.
longer recall.
Where the ending is. And not get on the elevator? I think that's what you were trying to say. And then see what happens?
When
You said that's
Stanley
like a
came to a
secret,
set of
secret
two
ending?
open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So we need one more. Where is somewhere both red and blue? Oh damn, I can't even find the red and blue door.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
Thank you. So it's a bucketless mission.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Oh. But I already did that though. I thought. So do I just stand here? Or are you talking about whenever I jump off? So I can jump off again because the song was pretty lit. I ain't gonna lie. But not since you were looking for the fig leaves. I'm so confused. You couldn't get to the red and blue doors because no buckets were allowed past that point, so it's a bucketless mission. But not since you were looking for the fig leaves. For the secret here, you have to hit all 3 buttons. Okay.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this
Then
place
don't get on
hold?
the elevator.
Stanley thought
Okay.
to himself. Did
I
he
will
have the
not
strength to
get on
find
the
out?
elevator. Or will I? That's like asking me if it's a bucket or not. Is it?
Now
Or
the
is it
monitors
not?
jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and
This shit's
Stanley,
weird.
one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Hit all 3 buttons. Okay.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
I have a Mario song stuck in my head at the moment. I don't know. On the closed gate. Oh, it opened. Can I go back through? Should I go back through? Okay. It has reopened! Do an explore. But this door is not. Pumpkin, do you want up here? Oh, shit. I just turned them all up. Yeah, Green, he did raid here, and I don't know what the fuck is going on. He's doing it by himself, he's stretching. And now what? Do I just keep dancing? Never give up on your dream. Go, go, Secret Rangers! What is going on, Pumpkin? Thank you, Stevie. Thank you. Jeez, this is long. Does it end? Does it end? So it doesn't end, huh? We're gonna moonwalk into the,
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible?
That was definitely needed.
Had he truly
That, like, has
spent his
lifted my
entire
spirits
life
for this game,
utterly blind
because
to
my
the
spirits have
world?
been going down, 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 down. Honestly, I'm not even
But
gonna
here
lie.
was the proof. The heart of the operation.
game has
Controls
taken
labeled
it
with
out
emotions.
of me.
Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Should I... I'm gonna do a quick version. I think this is the quick version. Quickest version of the ending. But, just so I can restart really quick. Well, it's gonna make me restart regardless.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes.
It's never
He had
over.
won. He had
Okay.
defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened,
So,
Stanley reflected on how
the
many
bucket-
puzzles still lay
Or
unsolved.
the red and blue
Where
door.
had his
I have to get
co-workers
the
gone?
little
How had he
statue
been
guy
freed from the
without
machine's
bucket.
grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand,
I feel like I've been
but to
playing
let
for
go.
hours. What the hell?
No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Stanley ran back in and grabbed his bucket. Just kidding.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the
silly
new
birds.
path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
Damn, with
And
no
Stanley
bucket.
was happy.
So then I should do that. Grab the... what's it called? Off the cargo
All
lift.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the
No
meeting
bucket.
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Is that the room where you go straight for the red and blue? Oh, this is different. Also, the narrator told me to remember a fern. To like memorize a fern and what it looked like.
When Stanley
and I
came
don't
to
know
a set
why.
of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
It's the door. It's the straight door, right? I think.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy,
I
really,
hate
I'm not.
the red and blue
I
doors.
realize that investing your trust in someone
It's
else
so
can be
dumb.
difficult, but the fact is that the
For me to
story has
figure out
been
how to
about
get to the
nothing but
blue door
you
took me
all this time.
So long.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really?
What?
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly.
6
Savor
out of
this moment,
6.
Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I
feel
would tell
accomplished.
you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Very well, narrator, sir. Blue door.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly.
Blue door.
Stanley? All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the
feel like
map
I've missed
because you were
something
never supposed to be here in the
here.
first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Oh, well, now this is useful. You didn't like it, but you didn't totally hate it either. You enjoyed it, perhaps is the correct term. It didn't cause you excruciating pain.
I don't know about that.
Big steps we've made here today, Stanley. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version.
I let the baby
perfectly candid,
die.
I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
4 hours. It's so loud. There's no way. I couldn't put people through that. There's no way. Now, I would do it. I might do that off stream, but I wouldn't put, like, people actually viewing my stream through fucking 4 hours. It's only 4 hours? Are you kidding me? There's no way. Because I let the baby die because of how annoying the sound was. Because I was like, oh shit, like, there's, like, a few people watching at the moment, and this sounds terrible, so I just let the baby die. But I would do it for 4 hours, 100%.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Fuck no.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting.
Damn,
You wouldn't mind
baby.
taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger.
Y'all,
You
I'm
click
so
the
sorry
button to
for the
move him
few
back
times
to
that
the
I clicked the
right,
button.
and if he reaches the fire, you fail.
It's
It's
so
a very
loud.
meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the
game is
game
so
only
fun.
becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of
4
play to make
hours.
sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Is this what you want, CD? It's not happening. It's not happening. We're gonna watch the baby
You
burn.
heartless bastard.
I'm a heartless
Did
bastard.
you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I
Never
don't know
said
what
I
to do.
wanted
I'm
it.
completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might
I
improve the
sure as hell-
experience
I
for
didn't
me.
want the baby burned.
I'm
I
not
didn't
even
want to
going
play
to
that
try.
for 4 hours.
I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here?
And then I think Ross
Yes.
said
This
was
seems
a
like
game.
it'll
What
work.
game did he
Let's
say?
give it a shot.
What did he say? I think that was whenever my stream went to shit.
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me
Wish I
that you
could
are meant to
sprint,
play as a
then I could, like,
creepy
try to
man,
get past those
spying on
walls.
innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
It's not gonna allow me.
No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
No!
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing. Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
What if I don't fall in the goal?
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought, and I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes! Oh goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more.
Oh,
I'm insatiable.
Oh wait, no, it doesn't matter.
More balls!
Oh god. Don't go in the goal! Hold on, I'm just being weird right now. Just
Are you
give me a
enjoying
second.
this, Stanley? Are you having
kinda
fun?
am.
Is this a real video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over.
Uh-oh.
That's right. Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I'm structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best. Take care, Stanley.
Bye, narrator. He's such a dick. Huh, I wonder, what happens if I just aimlessly walk backwards in this goal?
Hold on. What are you doing? Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Is there anything here that I can do? Or is this all, like, drop-offs? That's a drop-off. It looks like maybe a possible ledge. That's a drop-off. Drop-off. Looks like a drop-off. Damn. You can't jump in this damn game. What if I... Oh, I tried. I tried. Hello? What do I do?
I wonder what he
Reset.
found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Okay, so what else am I missing? Like... There's only so much I can think of and do. Whoa.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines. Those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
It's the midsummer shit, I'm telling you.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find.
pumpkin.
Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen,
Buddy.
but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Oh, I got 7.
And here was a second Stanlerine. I'll be honest, back then I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways. Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
My third one, boss's office, or I think it was the bathroom.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here in the boss's bathroom. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised.
There's a pumpkin
After
on my
all,
lap.
science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
There we go. Pumpkin.
Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room.
No, we
Oh
did
well,
not.
I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
Wow, this is cute. Oh shit.
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
What? What's that back there? It's mini stand number 5. Ah! Look at the quality of this shit, man. We found it near the cargo lift. Thanks for watching.
takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was
so
8
dumb.
minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Ooh, that kind of hurt my ears. Oh, shit.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible,
Final
the final
one.
figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
What?
And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone.
Oh, that was trippy. Weird.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite
the
direction. See how that feels.
What? Reverse, reverse.
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going, I want more. And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Yes. Oh my god, that scared me.
Yes, I love that video.
Where does this come into play?
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room. These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have neutered the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Wait, did I screw up? I think I screwed up.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it, the very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this? Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories.
Oh gosh, this is so weird. $18 out of 6. Nice job. Thank you. Thank you. Whoa.
Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
And My
and
office.
before everything else, there was your office.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
The
I
bucket.
can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good.
My
I
one
did
more
enjoy
good
telling
run.
this story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story
It's
of a
going to
man named
be-
Stanley.
Me following his orders all the way through, I think. If this is like considered the ending.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
Oh, he doesn't give orders anymore.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
So does this mean that I beat the game? Is that what that means?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
We'll have to
The
do
lights
party
rose on an
game
enormous
as we
room packed with
do this, 'cause
television
I think
screens.
this might be the
What
end.
horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the
That,
strength to
CDE
find out?
so gladly showed me. I'm so thankful for it. So hopefully nobody's accidentally sleeping. Oh, I'm not done. Wait.
Now
well,
the
is this
monitors
like...
jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
What does
Each
this
bore the
even
number of an
mean?
employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers.
He said he was gonna
the
do one
lives
more
of so
good
many
run with me.
individuals reduced to
Or, like,
images on a
narrate
screen.
me.
And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
That's true.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
this is gonna be
Was
an
this the only
ending in
reason he
itself.
was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
So should I do it? Since how...
No.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the
there
proof,
something with the
heart of the
numbers
operation.
in here?
Controls labeled with emotions, happy,
Like
or
with the
sad,
buttons
or
on the wall?
content.
There's-
Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this
There's
very place.
1,
And as the
2,
cold reality of his past began to
3,
sink
and
in,
then
Stanley decided that this
5.
machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Shit. Or 251 maybe? 251? No. Oh, there it is. So two, no, two. No. Did these buttons mean nothing? Two. One. Are you kidding me? They're very nothingy. Shit. I thought there'd be something. Come on. Darn.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power,
Let's press off again. Whiskey? Come here, buddy. Okay, so let's see. Let me pull up my
blackness
Steam.
and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
And how do I check my...
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
Oh my god.
Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Alright, I'm so confused on the achievements. I could quit the game. Wait. Beat the game, complete. Okay, get your first achievement. 94.3% done. You can't jump. No, seriously, we disabled it. So I'm not even able to get that achievement. Beat the game, complete the Stanley Parable. 73.9% done. Welcome back. Quit the game and then start it again. Click on the door 435 times. 435 times. I could probably do that one. 435 times.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him.
I do like beeps.
This was exactly the way, right
But
now,
I thought maybe
that
there was,
things
like, a
were
secret
meant to
code,
happen.
you know?
And Stanley was happy.
Okay, so I need to click on door 430 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which I feel like every time I pass a door, I click on it. So I feel like...
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly.
Okay, I'm gonna
50
go
clicks.
pee really quick, take a bathroom break, because this is gonna be needed for what I'm about to endure. Oh shit, I didn't know you could zoom in. Wait. Oh no, I just walked, I'm stupid. Okay, I'll be right back. So, give me a second. Okay. So, this phone started ringing.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct? Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
417?
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437. Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so. Now, back to door number 437. Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine? All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk. Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416. We've almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again! Finish it off, Stanley! 5 clicks on door 430! Yes! We did it! Oh, wow. That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now, what were you thinking?
Okay, so jeez, so this game actually is like, yeah, there's like not even really, I mean, I can get an achievement for quit the game, then start again. I could do that really quick. Here, let's do that. Oh, goodness, I look like I went through hell. Quit to desktop. Oh god, this freaking game. Fuck. I got a cat hair in my mouth. No way. What time is it? 6 in the morning? 6 a.m. The times you're setting are correct. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Since you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see the screen, just set the clock to your favorite time. Go ahead, pick whichever time you want, even if it's not the correct time, you've earned it. Well, now I gotta do that. Okay, so let me do that really quick. Intermission. Let me quit. Set it to my freaking favorite time. Live scene. Jesus. Okay, my favorite time probably would be in the afternoon at 4:44. Ooh. Ooh. Bless me. Should be ready by the next time you boot up the game. I am not. Jesus. Should I do it again? We're doing it again. I'm not even gonna switch that. It's just right there. Looking for a game to capture. It's fine. Yeah, of course I am. I have to. Fuck. I'm the type of person of like, if I'm in like a RPG, I will be looting everything. Oh. How about right there? Right there? Yeah. Aki Boinkle, not Scrumtush. Oh, it's so appealing. It's the time it is right now. I'm confused. Yes? No. Yes. Help. Yes. Will you come back to visit me? Yes. No. I'm committed now, I know.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 4.
Fuck off, narrator.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh, this is...
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along.
What?
He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes.
I did this on accident.
Now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be?
Yes.
Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
No.
Ah, Then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. Yeah. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
What? What the fuck? So what now? Do I get stuck? Oh, damn it. Shit. Well, we gotta do that again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-worker. At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want. Like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
20 more minutes in me. I'm not even gonna lie.
There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly.
Really tired.
But the truth must be told. He was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. Yes. You too will become quite unbearable.
Should I restart the game? Hello. How are you?
Shitty.
Oh no. Hold on,
I'm gonna take a break really quick. Really fast.
I don't know if you would turn it.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. I think I have tortured myself in this game quite long enough. I have, let's see, how many achievements did I do? I have 5 out of 11 achievements earned. And I know I didn't do all the endings. There's just so much. Yeah, I don't even know. But, so I think what's gonna happen is I'm probably gonna raid out. So let me find someone that I can raid to really quick. Let's see. Pumpkin. I'm trying to think of what games. See if anybody else is still playing. Stanley Parable. friends on. So I could raid out too. I wonder if anybody's doing superliminal. Guess we can do the old trusty Minecraft raid, honestly, just because it's an easy raid, and Minecrafters are always good, most of the time. Dude, I am so tired. That's what you missed. Yeah, I think so. I think I'm about to raid out, honestly. Do you have any games or any type of specific category you'd want to raid to if you're gonna keep on? Oh, is that a thing?
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Okay, we're raiding out. We are raiding out. No more. Yes, definitely drink your tea, get some laundry done. Yeah, I'm thinking raiding into maybe like a Minecrafter, I don't know. Something like that. I was gonna see if anybody else was playing the game that I'm playing, but not really. At least nobody with a camera. Or, you know what? Sea of Thieves is always really nice. I enjoy Sea of Thieves. Swimming Carcass. Cyberpunk. I was thinking about rating someone that doesn't have a lot of viewers or followers. Just because, like, Peanut Butter, she did that to me, and, like, that that's really motivated me to stream more, and it's made me enjoy it more. So if I could do that to someone else, I would love to do that for someone. So I mean, I don't know if they're well known. I can look them up really quick. Let's see. Yeah, their name is already popping up. Swimming cock. And he is live. Grubby D. SR. Let me see. Oh yeah, he looks cool. I've never played this game before. Okay. Yeah, I want to pick him. Alright, so let me remember how I raid. Just give me a second. Copy his username. Copy. That's not it. Dashboard, I think. Nope. Shit. Oh no, yeah, it's here. Raid channel. Paste. It's him. Yes, I will for sure have a good sleep and keep hunting for more endings later. Definitely, I hope to see you again, CD. I really enjoyed talking with you and hanging out. That was a lot of fun, and thank you for showing me that secret disco rave thing in the camera room, whatever the hell that was. That was a lot of fun. Enjoy your tea, and hopefully laundry goes by quick. You know, I hate laundry, but hey, it is what it is. Everyone loves secrets, especially Victoria, right? But, alright, y'all have a great time in Grubby D's live. Should be starting soon. I don't have any like cool raid things, like raid texts, so CD, if you have any, you should definitely like spam it if you do. If you don't, that's okay.